Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video, we're going to show you how to change out the GE washer, suspension rod, and spring assembly. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new suspension rod and spring assembly. The suspension rod and spring assembly is part of the suspension for the washer. The main reason to be changing it out is if the spring part of it has failed and the washer is going out of balance. In order to get to the part, we have to take off the front panel. We're going to use a putty knife to release the clips and pull it off. All you have to do is go from the side until you feel it and then move over a little bit and press it in to release it. Once you have this side off, we can go over and do the other side. Once you have both clips released, you can lift the front panel off the mounting clips and set it aside. Now that we have the front panel off, we can go around back and use the 1/4" nut driver to remove the console screws. Now that we have the screws out, we can lift the console up a little bit so these 3 tabs release from the top. Once you have it off, we're just going to set it to the side so we can lift the top off. Now we can use the 1/4" nut driver to remove the 2 screws that holds the top to the cabinet. With the screws removed, we can pull the top panel of the washer forward, and then we have to lift up on it a little bit. And over on this side, we have to go underneath and release the lid switch so we can take it off the top so we can lift it off. So we're just going to take a flathead screwdriver and reach underneath and release it. Once you have the tab released underneath, we can lift up the washer lid and lift the lid switch out. And then we have to turn it and feed it back underneath. Once you have it back underneath, we can close the washer lid and lift the top off and set it aside. Now that we have access to the suspension rods, there's 2 of them in the front that are green. They're both the same and changed out the same way. The main difference is that this one has a wiring harness that you have to make sure goes behind it. And the one on this side has the air pressure hose that you have to make sure is hooked up just like this. The ones on the back are changed out the same way. The only difference is they're black on the base, so when you order them, make sure you order the proper ones. To get the suspension rod out, we're going to first disconnect the pressure hose. All you have to do is unlock the clip and take it off the suspension rod. We'll just leave it attached to the air hose. And then we have to lift up on the tub so we can release this clip from this little mounting bracket. To get the upper half of the suspension rod off, we have to remove this bushing. There's a couple little locking tabs underneath. We're going to get underneath and release one of them and push up on it from underneath. Once you have the first one out, the other one should just be able to lift out. And then we can pull this out and set it aside and then drop the suspension rod and spring assembly out through the bottom. Here's the old suspension rod and spring assembly next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. To put the new suspension rod and spring assembly in, we're going to lift it up through the opening and hold it while we slide the bushing around the shaft and lock it into the frame. Once you have the bushing in, you can let it go, and then we're going to lift up on the tub while we guide the base into the bracket. Once you have the bottom half clipped in, we can grab the little retaining clip for the pressure hose and clip it onto the new support rod. Now that we have the part installed, we can put the washer back together. To put the top back on, you want to make sure when you set it down that these tabs on each side go into this opening, and then you'll set it down and push it back to lock it in, and then the front will sit into this opening. Once you have the tabs in, you can push back to lock it in place. We do have to put the lid switch on, so we're going to open up the lid and feed it through the opening. We're going to put the side with the wires in first, like this, and the locking tab is on this side, so we'll push it down and lock it into place. Once you have the lid switch in, we can use our 1/4-inch nut driver to secure the top to the cabinet. Now that we have the top secure, we can put the front panel back on. To put the front panel on, all you have to do is set it on the 2 lower mounting tabs. Once you have it in place, you have to lift it up so the pins line up, and you can push it all the way closed and lock it in. Now that we have the front panel on, we can close up the console. You want to make sure that the 3 tabs go into the opening on the top. Once you have the tabs in, you can rotate the console down, and then we can use our 1/4-inch nut driver to put the screws in. Now that we have the part installed, you can plug the washer back in and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.